G'day guys, what's cracking? This is the Tamron 35-150 f2 to 2.8 Di3 VXD. Come on! Pretty stoked to talk to you about this lens as it is a stunner. A stunner, I tell you. So the beauty of 35-150 is often you have to carry around a 24-70 and a 70-200, and you carry around these two big lenses, and you're like, oh, well, I'm doing an event, right? And so I'm wanting kind of the wider shot, I'm wanting some of this close-in work, but then I'm also wanting the long-distance stuff across the room, that sort of thing, or I'm wanting to capture something without me invading the space of that, or I'm wanting just a nice portrait, just slamming shot of someone's face, and I want wanting to back off the f-stop so I'm getting this beautiful bokeh in the background, or I'm wanting to capture more of the context of everything that's happening. So I've got two lenses. What if you could basically condense it down to one lens? To one lens. Well, Tamron have said, let's give it a go. Let's give it a fair crack a jack, and they have created what some have said is the best, sharpest, most versatile, epic lens Tamron have ever made. How is that for a recommendation? That comes from a mate of mine who works with Tamron, and I would love to tell you about it today. So it starts with a lens hood that can be taken off and then put on the other way. It has this cool button that it can't be moved until the button's pressed, and it just unlocks it. And you can obviously, with all lens caps, you can put it on backwards, save breaking your lens if you drop it. Gives it a layer of protection. First of all, you should know it's a telescope. So look at this. Get that? So you add a fair bit of length when you need to zoom in. Also has this cool little lock button. Look, lock button, that when you click that up, it means it can't accidentally go anywhere. So it locks it at that length. Can be handy, can only lock it down, can't lock it at full extension or anywhere in between. Has your two rings. This is your focal length, this is your focusing, and what I've found is that they're well placed. And so when you're holding the lens, you're holding it on your focal length, which is where you want to hold a lens, I reckon. And so you can change your focal length should you need to, but then it's quite easy to find the other ring. Sometimes when they're really thin, they're hard to find, and you've got to pull the camera away when you're actually in the middle of a shot and you just want it to work because you're just there. So sometimes it doesn't, but with a big fat one like that, oh gosh, it's good. Feels good in the hand. It's heavy and plastic, 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 plastic. All plastic, and it's heavy. It's over 1 kilo, which means such beautiful glass. What that automatically tells you about a lens is that it's going to be sharp quality because there's a lot of glass in it, and the glass is big. When the glass is big and it's full of glass, then you're destined for fine images, guys. Fine images. I've just noticed it's all a bit messy, isn't it? You're fine. You can't see how messy it is. But here, I should change it. That's all it needed. Just a little shift over here. Why didn't I do that from the start? It's been an epic video so far. I'm not reshooting. I'm not reshooting. I'm here to stay. Oh, great. That wasn't even straight. Who knows if we've got any good footage at all from this video. Back to the lens. Has some controls on the outside. On the outside, as you can see, we have an automatic focus and a manual focus. Click up or down. Manual autofocus means autofocus is from the camera. Manual focus means this baby right here does all the work for you. Other controls are a custom 1, 2, 3. Now the custom 1, 2, 3 is set when you plug it in to the lens calibrator from Tamron. You do that through this USB-C plug right here, and you can change the custom settings here, and you change it based on focal length. So you might want to say, I only want it to focus between 1 and 5 meters, or I only want it to focus up to 10 meters, or I only want to focus after 5 meters. You can do that with this lens. It becomes quite versatile, and there might be certain scenarios that you find yourself in that I just wish that was a function, so it can be a function for you. Also has these 3 buttons, and you control these buttons and program these buttons through your camera. So you go to custom, then you go down to controls, you go in, you find the lens, and you set these on whatever you like. So it gives you a lot of versatility if you're looking for a lens with some bells and whistles. Got an 82mm thread, and I like a good 82. I think a lot of my other lenses are 82. And of course, this is for the Nikon, so it has a Z mount on the other end, which also adds to the quality of image because it gives more access of the lens to the sensor, whereas the F mount is much smaller, so you have less access to the sensor. So there's more light hitting the sensors, more data, there's better quality images taken as a result. So let's have a look at how this glass actually performs. So what I did was went out on a number of different occasions. I took the lens with me and I took a variety of different shots that I thought might be helpful in different settings. So this is a Milky Way shot that I open with. It's a cracker. I love this photograph. It's taken on 35mm at 3200 ISO. So that came out really beautiful. I mean, look at that. What a stunner of a shot. Now, I was with some crew, and so I'm just going to go through and have a look at the sharpness of this lens. Zoom to 100, and that's Pete. Looking happy. Got his drone, you see this is at 2.8, so his zip's in focus, his face is in focus, but his drone controller that's just a little bit in front of him isn't, which is perfect. Then we go to more of a landscape feel. I'm still shooting with a really high aperture, and that's not quite straight. If you're thinking that's not straight, it's because it's not straight. None of these images are edited, so I can edit them and make them into total bangers if I so choose. But let's look at the sharpness. Look at the sharpness on this lens. This is handheld at 1/800. So that's at 400% zoomed in. It's crazy, right? I love this shot. Just love it. If we put a quick edit on that, something like that. All right, this is Pete. Yeah, this is his concentrating face when he's flying his drone so he doesn't crash it. This is important. This is at f-stop 9 and this is at f-stop 2.8 on the 57, and you'll notice that there is no vignetting, and that's why this is important. So in the corners there's no darkness, and I found maybe the tiniest bit of vignetting when it was at 2.8 on 150mm, the tiniest bit, but other than that, look at that, it's just banging. Then we go to this is 150mm at 2.8. And then I vary around, so we're going 82mm now. That's 123. You can see the versatility of this lens. 123. That's at f-stop 18. You'll see there's a little hair on my sensor. Yeah, that's what that is. That squiggle. So you'll have to ignore that. But look at the way it catches up these lights in the dynamic range. So we've gone from dark shadow to bright highlight, and it carries that dynamic range insanely. Just got this beautiful fog just rolling in. Now this is where it gets impressive. I auto-focused on these little bugs. You see these little bugs? Have a look at this. Look at this. I mean, that gets beyond pixelated, doesn't it? This is on the Z8. Auto-focused on them. They're buzzing around at 1,000,000 miles an hour and it auto-focuses on them. That is just wow, absolutely impressive. I then took some real close-up, and look how close we get here. Look at the detail, and it even captures the light as it strikes these little cobwebs going across, and this one dangling down. This is Dale, so the sun's just here, and you can see a little bit of a blotch here and a little bit of a blotch here. That's because there were little specks on my lens, and as you can see, that was at 6.3, so it has nice bokeh even at 6.3, and clarity. Dale will be just thrilled by this. If he watches it, Dale, you've got to comment down below your disgust, and everyone else, have a look for Dale's comment down below at his disgust. That's Pete. Yeah, wow. Okay. That's more like Pete. All right, let's get into some more landscapes. This is 150 at 9, and 9 is really, it's really nice. It's sharp. It was a foggy morning. That is 2 kilometers away from where I was situated, and you'll see it captures the shadows down here, and it captures the highlights up here, and yeah, wow, it's just really quality, right? Even gets this little bug go from one extreme to the other, and I could easily just apply a little bit of an edit to that. This is 150mm, so this is zoomed in on a creek where I was platypus watching out here. So if I go from 150 and then I'm slowly zooming out, right, the different incremental parts of the lens, and you can see how far it goes out and the implications of that. So we're at 70mm, this is 50mm, this is 35mm. Look, 35mm to 150, 35, 150. That's wide, right? gosh, it's versatile. And then a handheld to see how it would go on some long exposure, and that came up really nice. I then bumped up the aperture to 18 and took a sunburst just coming through here. With sunburst, you need something to diffract the light before it hits your lens. Then I put it on f18 for this close, and you'll see the bokeh in the background. And then I reduced it down right down to 2.8, and so the bokeh is just really smooth, allows the detail to pop out of the photograph. And then I got my lovely wife Lyndall. I said, just stand back there. She was thrilled about this. Look, oh, she's over the moon. And what I did is I put it on continual focus, and I just shot as she walked toward me. And so as she walks toward me, there you go, she's got a strut on there. Let's just zoom in, and we just, yeah, I don't know if I was doing funny noises or she's kind of used to this by now. Yeah, she's just got to walk. She's not going to be happy about that, folks. Do not tell her to watch this video, whatever happens, or that. Oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble from this. But as you can see, she's getting closer and closer, and the quality of the lens, look at the clarity on her face. That stunning face. She'd be so embarrassed right now. But it's held the clarity, right? See, not impressed, Ralph. Not impressed. I see that face a fair bit. So we're getting closer and closer, and it's still holding. It hasn't missed a shot, right? As she was walking at just a normal, sensible pace, and I was like, bang, 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 getting closer. So she's closer, and it's starting to blur. You see that? So let me pull back, and it's starting to blur as she's moving toward me. And then I shoot there. That's pretty clear. She goes, one more step. That's pretty clear. She goes, one more step. That's pretty clear. And oh, even that's not too bad. And then, yeah, like she's right in my face right then. So I said, step back, let's go minimum focusing distance. And have a look at this, right? Obviously her face is blown out, but have a look at her eye. Let's zoom in on that. Look at this. You can see me, that's my watch. That's the ridge of her nose. That's insane. And a little vein. Feel like a bit of an invasion of privacy. And there was a swan that came and attacked us. How good's the swan? And that's 200% zoomed in. If I zoom in at 100, how good is this lens? Wow. What do you think? Tell me what you think in the comments below. So what do you think? It's amazing. If I put this on my Z8, it doesn't miss a beat. Like crazy, crazy fast. But even on my Z6, it performs really well. I was really encouraged with the images that came out of this. The speed of focusing takes about half a second when it's on 35mm to focus from your closest, say 15 centimeters away is as close as it gets, up to infinity. It takes about half a second to focus from here out to there. If it's on 150, it takes closer to 1 second to focus from here out to infinity, but it's still really quick. And what I found is sometimes it just doesn't grab, but you can easily just move your hand here on autofocus. You can zoom straight to where you want it, and you're locked in, and then the autofocus can take over and you're away to go. Well, I'd love to know what you think about the idea of a focal range between 35 and 150, given that 35 is kind of the original format of a camera. 50 is prime portrait territory. And when we get up to 150, we're looking long distance stuff like street photography. We're looking effective event photography. And is this the lens for you? What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear any other thoughts you have about it. Thanks, Tamron, for lending this to me. I've got to give it back. Kind of want to keep it. Kind of want to keep it. Got to give it back. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. After you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Bye. But I'm not going to. I'm going to live on the wild side. It's going to drive me crazy at editing. 50 is prime.